goes you?
Worn out for sure. I'm finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel on all my house projects, and will hopefully be moved in actually by the end of this week.
Oh, so you haven't moved in yet?
No, I haven't had floors, so I didn't want to move like big furniture up until I had carpet to put it on.
Most important question, is it a smart light at the end of the tunnel?
It is, but it's currently not responding.
God damn it. Those smart lights, always the same.
But yeah, I got my hard floors installed today, actually. So I'm just waiting on a carpet in a few days, and then I'll be moving my furniture up.
Don't tell me you're putting down floorboards and then putting carpet over the top of it.
No. I got hard floors on part of the house, and the rest of the house is going to be carpeted.
Ah, okay. Hard floors and carpet, separate rooms, not together.
Yes. Yeah, my kitchen, dining room, and office are all like they span the length of one side of my house, and like kind of open up into each other. So I have that whole stretch being like fake wood, plank floors, and then the rest of the house is going to be carpet.
Over the years, our arguments about which is better, wooden floors or carpet, and I've actually lost track of what I prefer.
I was fairly sure at the start of this, we were in agreement that carpet was the superior, and it was Yasmin that preferred hard floors. But it does seem like your opinion on that has shifted over the years.
Maybe it's shifted room by room, but I do very much like carpet, especially in living areas. Not in the bathroom like, was it your grandma who had carpeted bathroom?
Yeah.
Just awful. And of course in the kitchen makes no sense.
Right.
But the rest of the house, I'm all on board for carpet. And yeah, Yasmin, not so much. Mostly because of allergy-related things. And of how dirty it can get and appear not to be dirty.
Oh, I have a new understanding of that after tearing out, 35-year-old carpet from my house.
Oh, it's always disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah. For all intents and purposes, it looked clean enough for old carpet, maybe a little worn out, but not dirty. But when you pull it up, it's like a layer of dirt underneath. You couldn't see the subfloor. So I get it, but it's still so much nicer.
It is still. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, just change your carpet more than every 30 years and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I just hope we've got better cures for respiratory issues later in life.
Even my office, which did get hard floors, Elizabeth and I went out to the furniture store today and picked out a big rug that's going to cover most of that floor anyway. So
right, yeah. Even when you've got hard floors, you put something nice and comfortable on it to walk on.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, yeah, I'm a big I think that we're completely in agreement that bedrooms should be carpeted 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. So I guess the only thing that really leaves, aside from kitchen and dining space, which I generally prefer hard floors just for stain reasons, would be like a living room or a hallway space. And even the living room, I would prefer to be carpeted, but I guess a hallway could go either way. I don't have a strong opinion on that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if it's a hallway from the front door, then maybe not carpet. You could force people to take their shoes off, though, and then just walk right into a nice, soft, carpeted hallway. That sounds nice and inviting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could go either way, I guess, on the hallway.
I guess maybe this is going to change your opinion on my floors and things, but I'm very much a shoes on in the house kind of person.
Oh no, I am too. Yeah, I am definitely shoes on.
As soon as my shoes come off, I'm out of work mode and I will not get anything done.
I should clarify. I'm kind of like whatever I've got goes in the house. I'm not I meant to mean I'm not a shoes off at the front door person, as a lot of people are.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, glad to hear that's a shared personality thing. There's people even on the other side of the world that force you to take your shoes off when you walk in the door.
So many. It seems to be an Asian thing as well. So like nearly every Asian person's house that I visited, they're like, shoes off.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would probably keep your carpet a lot cleaner, but I can't do it. Especially going into someone else's house. It feels too casual for me to take my shoes off when I'm visiting someone.
It is more homely, though. It's kind of inviting, like, be comfortable. Our house is your house. Right. Take your shoes off. I get that part of it.
Okay, I could see that.
And shoes track a lot of dirt in. I mean, if I could make the dog take his shoes off as he came into the house would be like 50% cleaner all the time. And by shoes, I mean feet. Because I don't make him wear shoes.
The only way I think I could make that work is if I had like a separate pair of shoes. It's like I've come in the door, I'm changing to my house shoes, you know. But I have to keep I have to keep shoes on when I'm inside.
Actually, come to think of it, just you mentioning house shoes made me think of this. But in Germany, it's really wet like a lot of the time, and I suppose this would count for any country that gets like a lot of snow. But you simply can't bring your outside shoes into the house because they're simply full of mud all the time, like most of the year. And so they step out of their outside shoes into what they call house shoes, like literal translation, house shoes. So that's a thing. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm. It certainly snows and gets muddy here, and I will take my shoes off at that point. I'm not a savage, but otherwise, yes, shoes on the carpet for sure.
All right. Now that we've chat for a bit, how does my audio sound? Because I have a new microphone.
Do you really? It sounds fine to me. This is going to be my last time in my arrangement of recording from like my childhood bedroom at my parents' house. But when I do that, I just have AirPods in, so I probably am not picking up on the full fidelity of this new microphone.
Oh, let me tell you, the fidelity is full.
What did you get?
I got the Audio Technica ATR 2100X USB. So this is a pretty sweet little microphone that has USB-C and XLR as well. So I'm currently running in USB-C mode or USB mode, digital mode. But at any point in the future, I could bump it up to XLR and get a little bit of a boost in fidelity, a little bit fuller fidelity. And the other advantage of this mic is that it's a dynamic mic, not a condenser like the Blue Yeti I was using was. So hopefully picks up a little bit less echo from the room as I'm chatting.
Very nice. Still seems like a fairly priced microphone as well. It's not, hundreds of dollars or something.
Yeah, it's not hundreds of dollars. In fact, I sold the Blue Yeti, which is, I don't know, like 6 years old, because I didn't even buy it brand new, for almost as much as I paid for this microphone. And this one sounds better to my ear.
Well, how the tables have turned. Now you're the one with a nice microphone, and I'm sitting here with a old Blue Yeti in front of me.
You'll be back to your good mic soon. Which is what, remind me?
It's also a blue. It's a blue Spark, I believe. Let me see if I can pull it up just to be sure. Yeah, it's a blue Spark. Specifically the blackout, which is just it's just the colorway.
Yeah, I had the Yeti blackout as well, come to speak of it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's worked quite well for me. It is a condenser microphone though.
Okay. I believe dynamic should be better for not picking up every bit of sound that wanders into the room.
That's why all that soundproofing that I've had in the past was so nice.
Yeah.
The only reason I picked that is because, and I've definitely talked about this in the past, my interest in ASMR content. And one of the people that I had listened to in the past used those microphones, and I thought that he sounded very good. So I bought that for myself for podcasting.
Was this the Australian guy?
No, it was not. His channel was called Fred's Voice. That was the one that used the Blue Spark.
Okay.
And he looks and talks like Thor in like the Avengers movies. So sometimes he cosplays as Thor in some of his videos. It's very funny.
Oh, cool.
I can't help but notice that you removed a topic from our notes.
Well, I thought it was overlapping too much with one of our actual topics, which is the first one. So, do you concur?
I feel like there's opportunity for us to draw on whatever your experience is without beating around the bush too much. You got a Quest 2, right? Is that what you were insinuating?
I did get a Quest 2. That's right.
Okay. I'm curious about your experience with that, and I think it's going to tie in well with Apple's stuff. So I would not have removed it if I was you.
Oh yeah, I still want to talk about it, but just
as a part of that topic.
As a part of the topic. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, glad to hear we're not losing it.
Okay. But before we get started with topics, you created a shrine to Apple in your house. Would you like to give us a description of it?
Yeah, sure. So the explanation of this has to come in stages. Because first of all, I think as I've probably said in past episodes, I really didn't want my house to be like very plain or boring. I didn't want white or gray or like tan walls anywhere in the house. I wanted every room to be colorful. And so as I was picking paint colors for all the rooms in my house, I basically ended up with like the full spectrum of like every color in the rainbow is like in a room of my house.
That is cool.
So that's first of all, the setup is like I've got every color of the rainbow interior paint. And then as I was working my way through the hallway, my hallway has 2 linen closets. And one is very large, like a walk-in linen closet. So it's way more closet space than I will ever need. And as it happened to be, one of the linen closets, the one at the end of my hallway, so you can like see it at the end of the hallway looking from the living room, had 5 shelves in it. And as I was taking the shelves out of that to prepare it for painting, it occurred to me that will leave 6 distinct stripes on the wall that would allow me the opportunity to paint the Apple 6 colors, since I already had the paint and I have this perfect closet that's set up for it. So what I decided to do was I did, and I already sent you this picture. You'll have to link it in the show notes or something. So there's some kind of reference. But I did paint every section of the shelves one of the 6 colors, and I think at this point I've decided I'm going to take that door off. And that's going to be one of my display shelves. And just at the end of the hallway, I'll have some of my computers on display.
Any risk of like little kids running up and like pulling an old Mac off the shelf?
Potentially, that was a concern of mine. I even thought about like, I need like a sheet of glass that I can put in front of it.
That was my thought too. Or just a glass door.
Right. But like realistically, the rest of my computers are going to be on display on shelves in my office, which no longer like actually closes off to the house. It has no doors actually. It's just open into the kitchen and into the entryway of my house. So if children are going to be running around my house, there's already opportunity for them to be pulling stuff off of shelves. So I don't think that it's going to be more dangerous being right there than anywhere else. Honestly, my biggest concern about that location is that closet is right outside my daughter's bedroom door. And as a parent thinking about what's the worst thing that a child could do, I immediately thought like, well,
wait, can I guess?
If she's... Yes, feel free.
Somehow gets strangled on one of the power cords from one of the higher up computers.
Okay, you went a different route with it.
Okay.
I was worried about what she would do to my computers, not what my computers would do to her.
Wait, didn't you say the worst thing a parent can imagine?
I said, as a parent, what's the worst thing I could imagine her doing? So I guess dying, fine. Past, like, her curtain, her blinds in her room have pull cords on them, James. Like, if she's getting strangled, there's already opportunities for that.
Oh, well, let me tell you about Australia's nanny laws, which keep everyone safe, but pull cords must be affixed to the wall. They cannot hang loose by law. So,
well, this is obviously I ordered custom blinds for all my windows, and this is the first time I've ever seen they shipped with like clips that go on the wall that you can wrap your cord around when it's not in use. And the blinds also have on the bottom slat, I guess. The first time I ever seeing like bright yellow warning stickers, and it literally depicts a child like hanging from the pull cords. It's very graphic.
Ooh. Wow.
I've never seen that before.
Well, yeah, affix it to the wall. I mean, Elizabeth's not that young anymore. She probably wouldn't have any issues, but you never know when you have someone younger visiting. You better put that up. That's
true. They're very high up. Like they don't hang even below the window. So I don't think there's an opportunity for a child to reach them. But anyway, no, what I am worried about is in the middle of the night, Elizabeth gets sick, needs to vomit, runs to the restroom, makes it just outside her bedroom door, and then spews down my computers or something.
Oh, yeah. In my experience, kids just kind of lean out of bed or just don't even get out of bed. Just vomit all over the bed. And then you've got
leaning over is if you're lucky.
You get the duvet, the doona, all covered in vomit. Yeah, but to aim for the linen cupboard, I don't know. It probably wouldn't be high up on my list of worries.
Okay. I don't think they're really going to be at risk there. And it's going to be very cool. It'll be a cool display that you can see all the way from my living room being at the end of the hallway.
Nice.
So.
Have you already got tabs on like this Mac on green, this on yellow? Did you mention that you already had all of these colors in paint?
Yeah. That was how I proceeded the story, is that my house was very colorful.
Oh, I missed that. Yeah.
So the takeaway from that also is that that's every color of every room in my house. So I accidentally made my whole house 6-color themed. Yeah. So it's very cool. I can go down the list because I know you wanted a video tour or something. That's not going to work in the podcast, but I can go down the colors. So the top is green, which is my kitchen and dining room is green. Then yellow is my living room. Orange is my bedroom. Red is my office, and my guest bedroom are both red. Purple is Elizabeth's room, and then blue is the restroom is blue. So that's my whole house.
It kind of sounds like a nightmare to me. So many colors. I mean, sure.
A colorful house?
Yeah, colorful house. Did I ever tell you about, so when I was a teenager, still living at home, but, with a little bit more autonomy, I recarpeted my bedroom with white. I painted all the walls white. I've actually painted my wardrobe white. I took off the duvet cover and just had the white duvet and white sheets. I think my dream was to have a room in which there was nothing but white furniture.
You wanted to live in the Johnny Ive promo room.
I did, yes. And then I bought a white MacBook. I'm not sure if there's overlap, but yeah, I do enjoy white things, and my current iPhone is white as well.
The thought of that is appealing to me, but I feel like it's something that you'd have to go all the way with, or else it would look bad. Because if you go 90% white, but you've got still natural wood colored trim or something, that's gonna stand out and be weird.
Yeah, that's ugly.
Right. So, and I really don't like the look of painted trim and cabinets and things like that. So I wanted to preserve the natural wood look.
You're right. It doesn't look great. My tastes have changed slightly since I was a teenager living at home. Okay. Yeah, wood stays wood now. I'm with you there.
Right. It feels, well, I don't know how this is going to play across to you now. I was going to say, it feels like something a landlord would do is just paint over woodwork.
That's exactly what they do. They paint over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even let's freshen up this house before the next tenant moves in. There's a clock on the wall. Let's not bother taking it down. Let's just paint around the clock. That's the sort of thing.
And then your clock is glued to the wall with paint. Yeah.
Right.
Or flies are painted onto the windowsills or whatever else.
I would not be shocked.
Anyway.
What have you just sent me?
I sent you a picture of my colorful house.
Green and wood.
Yeah, what you're looking at now is we're standing in the dining room, looking through the kitchen into my office at the end there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, nice.
But yeah, very, very colorful, not white.
Very not white. Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, should we continue talking about a purely visual medium? Or we should get into something more relatable.
Let's do it. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today? No, just kidding. We have a report from...
I'm exhausted. I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
It was too funny to even come in with my pre-punned pun. Is it a smart light at the end of the tunnel?
It is, but it's not responding.
Stop, please. Come on. All right, get it together.
Sorry.
Apparently, Apple has shown their AR/VR headset to the board, and the title continues in Bloomberg, in sign of progress on key project. Well, you'd hope there's progress if this is a key project. Mm-hmm. But I'll just jump in right away and say, since we last spoke, since we last chat, I have acquired a VR headset, the Oculus or Meta Quest 2. And I just have some thoughts, because I know we've talked about Apple's AR/VR headset at length in the past, so I'm not sure if we have much new to say, except it appears to be a little bit closer if it's being shown to the board, but then this report could be like 9 months old for all we know.
I mean, my only thought is that it seems like showing it to the board would be something they want to save until as close to the last minute as possible. So to me, that reads like, this headset stuff is inevitable. Like maybe we'll see it at WWDC, or at least hints to it.
Yeah. You actually chucked in another topic after this one, which is basically the same topic, right? That Twitter thread.
Yeah, it's a really good Twitter thread that I don't know how to cover really well, except like I kind of want to read through most of it because it's very informative, I think.
Well, it kind of ties into the release schedule. So did you want to do it now?
Well, I'd like to hear about your Quest stuff first, but
yeah, sure. And just while we're pre-talking about the Twitter thread, did you see who it was from and his track record with leaks and rumors?
It is from Robert Scoble. But no, I don't know his track record. Okay. Did you look it up?
Well, he thought the iPhone 10 was going to be completely transparent and be called the iPhone 8, among other things.
Okay, so maybe not super reliable.
He also called for an iPod to be released this year, I believe.
Oh.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should read this thread for no other reason than to know what won't happen.
Okay. Yep, right. Anyway, yeah, a Meta Quest 2 I have acquired, and I got it for free, unbelievably.
Really?
Yeah. So here's how it went. I bought it on Amazon on a Tuesday, and I always do VR gaming with a friend of mine on the Wednesday. So I thought, I wanted to get it on the Tuesday because it's going to have to do updates, it's going to have to do the setup, blah, blah, blah. I want to get familiar with it. So I ordered same-day shipping, extra $14.
Okay.
Not too much. It showed tracking for on the truck at about 6 p.m. that night, but it never turned up that night. So the next morning I just jumped on the Amazon chat and said, maybe naively, but can I get my $14 back for the same-day shipping because it's not here? And the rep said... well, we can't do that, but we'll just cancel the order and you can place the order again. And I still quite naively just said, it's going to turn up today though, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to return it once it gets here. And he said, well, we'll cancel the order. You don't have to return it though. So I said, all right, let's go ahead with that. And of course I didn't order another one and it turned up on that day. So got the full refund.
Incredible.
Almost $500 Australian dollars. Yeah.
Because you had to wait an extra 12 hours for it.
Yeah, that's it. It actually didn't turn up until about 7 p.m. on the Wednesday night. So around 24 hours after it was promised to be delivered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Then the refund was warranted at that point. I get it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But yeah, I was fairly experienced with the Quest 2, having played a lot of racing stuff with it. Still quite enjoyable. And actually, it was a different experience to have it myself. And it was kind of an eye-opening experience to why it's a massive pain that Apple doesn't have a VR headset of their own yet.
Okay.
Because the biggest... Well, I guess there are two main negative points that I give the Quest 2. One of them, just technically, I don't think the display is very good. And I'm not sure if this is shared. I think this is just shared with VR headsets at the moment. That the displays aren't that good. It kind of looks like you're living in a standard def world when everything else is high def. Like all our screens and phones and all the other devices high def. VR headsets seem to be standard def. But the other major downside that I'm finding is it's not in the Apple ecosystem. And everything else I use is in the Apple ecosystem. So... doing something simple like, I'm going to reddit.com in VR. Oh, it's not signed in. What's my password? Oh, it doesn't have keychain. So you mean I'm typing out like this 16-character mumbo jumbo that iCloud keychain has generated for me, like with these controllers in my hand on a virtual keyboard. It's just got knobs on it, and you do that for the 10th time as you're using it, and you're like, wow. And I wish Apple made
and
this.
How are you doing that? Are you viewing through like the black and white pass-through video, the password on your phone screen, trying to type it in VR.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. In fact, that's not even high def enough to be able to read the password. So you're peeping under, like where the little nose hole is, onto the phone screen that's held at your chest. And of course, you had to unlock it with Face ID first. So you pop it up and the headset goes to sleep temporarily. It's just not nice. And I'm just standing there thinking, I wish this had iCloud keychain so everything was just synced and signed in.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg because everything else is separate as well.
It'd be great to get your text messages in VR and you could respond to them without having to take your headset off.
Mm-hmm, yep. I mean, it's really handy having Facebook Messenger in the VR headset and that's synced across all my devices. That's really good, but if only it was iMessage. Right. If only it was the App Store and not the Oculus Store or whatever it's called.
Have you found any other compelling games, or are you still just like driving sims?
Actually, I haven't done any driving since getting my own because when I do the driving, it's kind of I'm using it as a PC VR headset. I don't have a PC. Also, don't have a steering wheel. So I'm a bit limited there, but I'm fairly hooked on ping pong. Number one hit for me at the moment.
Ping pong.
I love ping pong. Yeah, which sounds ridiculous. But also in non-VR, I also enjoy ping pong. So I guess it translates.
Yeah, all right.
Also playing a lot of zombie killing. Arizona Sunshine. I think it might have been a non-VR game beforehand, but that's really good in VR, really well done.
Yep, it's for sure a staple VR game, which is I mean, it's a good game, so there's that. But it's it was also like the go-to recommended first-person shooter VR game 8 years ago.
Was it really? Wow.
It was like one of the first games I got from my HTC Vive in 2016.
Wow, you're joking. That's amazing.
Yeah.
There seem to be a couple of DLCs for it, which I haven't ventured into yet, so maybe they've done a bit of work since then.
Right.
Yeah, tested a couple of other demos, but it's only been not even 2 weeks, so still happy with ping pong and killing some zombies for now. Yeah. I'm sure I'll branch out eventually.
You're still very much in the honeymoon phase of VR.
That's it.
At this point.
Yeah.
So my biggest concern for Apple's headset, having been playing with VR stuff for as long as I have, is that, like I said, there's like this batch of content that's all really good, but then once you play through it, there's nothing else, and you just end up putting it away because there's not a lot to draw you back into VR. And so I'm wondering how Apple is going to solve this problem, especially with the first comment on this Reddit thread is highlighting a section of the article. The device has faced several challenges during development, such as finding compelling applications and content. And it's like, yeah, that's the problem with VR. Is like, man, it's a great idea, but no one's come up with this is the killer app of why everyone should be in VR.
I don't necessarily think there needs to be like the killer app. I think it's eventually just going to take over as the screen we use. So I think the killer app, in quotes, is just to have a high enough res screen that it's comfortable to look at for 8 hours a day as we work. And if Apple's headset has that, then perhaps that's all it needs. The other obvious downside to the Quest is that you just can't, there's no native look at my Mac screen as I'm doing this, as I'm typing on my keyboard and using my magic mouse. Both of which you can hook up to the Quest and just use it standalone. But I would love to just put the headset on and use my computer. That'd be amazing.
Screens would definitely get better for that because reading text is the worst part of VR.
It's awful.
Which is what I do all day for my job. So
it's what everyone does all day, basically.
Yeah. Maybe that is just the breakthrough. If Apple can do VR really well, it'll make all the mundane things hopefully better and not just provide you a different way to do the same thing. But yeah, instead of buying 3 or 4 monitors, I can just be in VR and have as many screens as I want. That would be cool.
Yep.
So I think we're really close though, and I'll read through this thread. I did not look up Robert Scoble ahead of time because this thread just popped up on the subreddit, or I just noticed on the subreddit right before we started the show, and he sounded very definitive in his explanations. I'm like, he must know what he's talking about. Almost. And he's verified, so I'm gonna put him in the show notes.
Okay. Do you want to go through this thread as well now?
Yeah, I'm going to read through some of it at least.
All right.
So he starts with Apple's WWDC will be the first of 3 different events that Apple is preparing for the next year, introducing the world to augmented reality, a new form that we haven't seen yet. And then he has a thread to explain. Event 1 is WWDC this year. We'll introduce a new development environment for a new kind of photorealistic 3D scenes, avatars, and much more. Neural radiance fields, ER, nerfs, and he says Apple probably won't call it that, will be featured in surprises that few are expecting. I don't know what a nerf is, or an ER. I assume these are all VR terms.
Do you know what a neural radiance field is?
No. I don't know any of that is, actually.
Sounds like brain waves, like neurons, radiance emitting.
Right.
Yeah.
So the way I read that whole first thing is just like WWDC is going to set up the frameworks, the APIs, whatever, for developing in VR, AR, leading into event 2.
Oh, hold on.
Sorry. What?
I want to talk about that a bit more. The timeline for that. Because, I mean, it seems almost certain that Apple's going to be releasing something like within the next 12 months, say from now. WWDC this year needs to have like the dev tools for that. I don't know how much, Xcode needs to have the dev tools for that. Like we need to see them at WWDC this year, not next year.
Yeah, the only way that could really work is like whatever this tech stack they're using for these AR, VR experiences is so cross-platform that you could be developing it for like an AR phone game and it just like translates easily to these glasses or headset they're working on.
Yeah,
but
I mean, that
seems like a risk.
Yeah, that's been around for I don't know how long now, quite a long time.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. There needs to be some sort of crossover where the tools for that just like translate almost like with zero input, like Apple tends to do. You know, introduce something new and then an existing tech can be just brought across with minimal input from the developer. That's how it was always said, but of course there has to be something done to bring across like an iPhone AR experience to the headset. That would be incredible though,
right.
Because I know we haven't really seen much amazing stuff, but there is stuff. There is AR stuff for iPhone already.
Right. And if that translates with little to no work, and they're always going to have these like preferred partner companies who have gotten a sneak preview ahead of everyone else, so they have something to demo at the release event, and they see themselves as maybe the primary content providers for this headset. Those things combined, maybe there doesn't need to be a whole dev kit ahead of time. But I think that's shooting themselves in the foot early on, not to get as many people developing for it, as soon as possible.
There just needs to be more hype to just light a fire under some developers to get on board.
Right. Yeah, because there's no hype around. Look at this new API we made. You gotta show applications for it.
Yeah.
So then leading into event 2, which Robert is predicting is January 2023, is going to be the AR VR headset reveal. It'll be a bleeding edge device to view and interact with these new 3D experiences that have been enabled by the APIs and frameworks from WWDC this year. And then he predicts that this is going to follow a similar timeline to the original iPhone, which is introduced in January, and then for sale, that coming summer.
The interesting part being AR and VR headsets is in fact a single device. This isn't 2 separate devices. This is one device. That sort of vibe. Unlike many previous rumors which say that they're separate and the AR headset / glasses maybe is well off in the future.
Yeah, I think this could be, to tie these kind of thoughts together, is that this is still very much a headset and it can do AR and VR, but our like wear around everywhere casual glasses, those are still years off in the future. Mm-hmm. But as far as like a bigger device that you wouldn't want to wear all the time, I think it would be a miss not for them to have some at least limited AR functionality so they can continue prepping for these, future wearable glasses.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and then kind of already alluded to that event 3 would be then release time, sometime June, July 2023. When you get your final look at the first experiences on the device, and we'll hype up headset and other devices just like the first iPhone.
Why is there an entire event for buying day?
I assume it's just coinciding with WWDC next year, and not specifically an event just for, hey, they're available for purchase now.
Okay, so we're a solid 12 months off, according to Robert Scoble. Renowned wearer of Google glasses in the shower, and apparently Larry Page hates him.
Okay,
for doing
that. I mean, he's got quite a track record. But then he he dives into some more technical things that I don't know what his credibility is, honestly. But he says, WWDC event will introduce new infrastructure that already is in Macintoshes. Did you know that an M1 is 16.8% neural network capabilities that really aren't being used yet? Hint, WWDC will see why that's so important. Did you know that an M1 Mac also has ultra-wideband chip in it? This is a new mesh network. We all know what that is, but we'll also be learning why that's there. I think the mesh network thing specifically, assuming it does have ultra-wideband, which is not something that I've heard anywhere else, but would make sense.
That's physically possible to verify. So, yeah, do we know for a fact?
Let me Google it.
Do it.
Does M1.
But while you do that, I have to say, my bullshit meter is just off the scale. I mean, M1 is 16.8% neural network capabilities aren't being used. What does that mean? Come on, 16.8%? He's just making up numbers.
Well, I think what he's saying is that the chip itself is 16.8% the neural cores. Like, that's how much of the chip it makes up. And for it being that much of the chip, it seems to be underutilized in current applications. I think that was the implication I was getting.
But it is being used. There's
Right.
the M1, the macOS is using a lot of it for all the photos, object detection, and face detection, and all that. All that's done with the neural capabilities. I don't know. To me, it reads like he's saying 16.8% of it's not being used. But yeah, maybe I'm reading it the wrong way around. But I can't see how you'd say it's not being used. M1 is 16.8% and it's not being used. I don't know. Did you find any definitive info on the ultra wideband?
No.
Okay.
I haven't. So anyway, he tweeted it, so that probably means it's not going to happen. I really hope we see the glasses at WWDC, or at least like a preview as like, this is what we're working on. You know, no, this is not the product, but this is the experience we're working on, a VR or AR experience, and these are the APIs we're enabling or have created to enable that, and you'll see what the device is going to be maybe in September or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see not the original iPhone timeline, but like an Apple Watch timeline where it's unveiled in September and like available for sale in January.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. The sooner we get it, the better.
Right, and it just, especially because it's been demoed to the board, it just seems like their security or preventing leaks. As soon as the board sees it, you're kind of out the window, as shown by the article, which how I read it was not a 9-month-old article, but was like they saw it yesterday and we already knew about it.
Yeah, a demo can be, a lot of forms. Like it could just be like a hardware demo. Like this is the headset. Feel how it sits on your head.
Okay.
Maybe it's not even powered on at that stage. They are just.
But why show it at that point? Just.
If it was a while ago, it's just pure guesswork now. If it was a while ago, maybe they're just like, this is what it's going to look like, and we have nothing running yet. Wait until June, and we'll show you what the software is going to be like when it's closer to ready.
I wonder if they have the board sitting in like empty shells of cars too. Like, imagine what it's going to be like when this is a self-driving car.
Oh, nice call out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to just explain that for people who aren't familiar with it?
Sure. I don't remember what the context this was in anymore. Maybe you're going to be better at this than me. But I think it came out of a book recently talking about how Johnny Ive pitched the Apple Car to Tim Cook, and he had Tim Cook sit down in like a chair next to him, and they pretended they were in a car, and he had some assistant pretending they were Siri. And
like a human assistant, you mean?
Right. Yeah. He had an actual person, and so he was like sitting in the car, and he was saying, like, yo, Siri, what was that restaurant we just passed? And having his, like, person assistant standing next to them pretending to be Siri and answering the questions. And do you remember where that came from? Was that out of a book?
Yeah, so this might not be the exact title, but it's something like Tim Cook's Apple and How Apple Lost Their Soul, or something along those lines.
Right.
Of course, the hook of the title is the part I remember, and How Apple Lost Its Soul. I don't actually remember the first part.
Yeah. Anyway. It's very funny to imagine being that assistant pretending to be Siri. But yeah, maybe they do demos like this to the board or other executives more frequently than I think. But that sounds like a rare occurrence to me. So I'm sure they're not showing like the iPhone 14 to the board ahead of time. I don't understand why they would need to do that.
Why do you show things to the board? I mean, for approval? Well, not this late in the day. And the board approves ideas, you would think, not, not like an iPhone that's going to exist, like 100% chance that the iPhone 14 is going to exist. So
Right. Yeah, it almost seems like a buying confidence thing. It's like, man, the board is unsure of how, like, the direction Apple's going right now. So Tim's like, no, wait, look what we're working on. It's going to be great. Just give me some time.
I don't think the board's worried about Tim Cook at all, really.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely made them very profitable.
What else do we have?
On the headset?
No, I was going to talk next topics, but we can stay in the headset if you want.
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, this is also from a unreliable source, I believe, but seems to be the theme of the day. But what this person says is that macOS 13 is going to introduce a new version of Time Machine integrated with iCloud Drive. And then just a new sentence. In addition, Apple is going to reintroduce airports, so the airport routers. So I guess we can talk about this in two parts. Time Machine integration with iCloud would be wonderful because, well, Time Machine, as it has existed since day one, has been like I would call it the best consumer backup thing to ever exist. Like, maybe Backblaze comes in at a close second, but like you get a standard person who uses a Mac to name like a backup software that they're familiar with or that's been recommended. I think the only ones that would come out are Time Machine and maybe Backblaze. Windows users have just been in this land of nothing great seemingly forever. I mean, they had like file history and stuff, but I don't think that really gained much traction, or nowhere near as much traction as Time Machine ever gained. But just the simple elegance of plugging in a USB drive into your computer and your operating system saying, should we back up all your stuff onto this? That was just, I mean, it was like chef's kiss. That's just beautiful. And I'm sure it saved tons of people's asses and data as well. But it's slowly faded out of relevance as more and more stuff is moved to the cloud. And the exact thing I'm thinking of is often our computers don't contain our data anymore, right? Like you turn on optimized photos and suddenly your Time Machine backup is just backing up like an optimized version of your photos library. Literally doesn't make sense.
Right.
So Apple hopefully has just rethought how all this works. And somehow Time Machine, iCloud Drive, let me quickly make up a name for it. I'm going to call it Time Drive. Time Drive, yeah. It's definitely not going to be that. So Time Drive is going to take care of all of that for you. And Apple's going to make more money because everyone's going to need more iCloud storage. It just seems like a win-win scenario for everyone.
Yeah. I feel like there's a few ways, based on the very limited information we have, on how something like this could be implemented. It could be just an option in iCloud where it's like you enable Time Machine in iCloud and it just performs backup of things you have in iCloud as a completely web service. Or what if you plugged an external drive in your computer and asked you if you want to enable Time Machine, and then an option there is also back up my iCloud data. So it downloads everything from iCloud onto that drive, but it's still just your physical drive that things are being backed up onto. And it's not Apple, taking any more space to do that for you.
Ooh, yeah. I think the right way to do it, but probably the way that's not going to happen is the second way you just described, where you plug in a physical drive into your computer, it grabs your local data and it grabs your iCloud data. I think that's kind of the right way to do it, because then you've got your stuff in iCloud and your stuff locally. And I don't know, maybe the backup geeks will rotate drives and maybe they'll keep a drive at, the parent's house or stuff like that your average consumer's not even going to think about doing.
Yeah, I think those two proposals are solutions to two different problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. The second one is a data redundancy thing. But the first one is probably the more common issue of like, oops, I deleted a file. How do I get it back? Well, you can go in your iCloud history and find it, which is probably the more common thing people are worried about anyway.
Yeah, and you can get stuff out of iCloud because there is the recover deleted file section. But of course, it has no version history. And I don't believe photos go in there. So Apple's kind of already made steps in that direction in having the backup in iCloud. So I think that's the way that will be continued as well.
Yeah. I'll solve my problem of still not having my data backed up anywhere else.
Oh, that's no good.
Just enable a checkbox. The only thing I ever really worry about is photos. I back those up, but nothing else.
But hang on a second. It wasn't that long ago that you were treating iCloud as your photo backup.
You're right. Yep. And I went through a long period of time where I learned how Apple's photo libraries work. Because I initially was copying every photo out of the Photos application onto my separate backup drive. And then I realized that I can just copy the actual photo library itself, and that contains all the photos, and I don't need to manually drag them out of the Photos app.
Yep. As long as you're not using optimized versions, then that's perfectly fine. But
so that's what I've been doing, and I'm behind on it now because all my products or all my devices are packed up, and I only do it once a year. So I have yet to back up all of 2021's photos.
I have lost track of how many people who I've said, are your photos backed up? And they've said yes to iCloud, meaning my iCloud photo library is my backup, but
right.
A photo library that syncs everywhere is not a backup.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I protect against is I deleted something accidentally on one thing and then iCloud deletes it from everything.
Yeah.
That's not the behavior you want.
I guess probably my main concern in the way that we think Apple's going to head then and just offer more versions or a more complex system of backups in iCloud itself is that what if you lost access to your Apple account? Then you've not only lost your data, but you've lost the backup data as well.
Right. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that because Apple, if you've truly lost access to your account, that's not something that Apple can even restore for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be very, very, very much too bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you do. That's the data redundancy thing, though. Offsite backups.
Yeah. My backup situation at the moment, I've actually given up on Time Machine, and I have just gone the best version of Backblaze that you can get, which is Backblaze plus unlimited version history, so it just keeps everything forever. So I could delete something today and get it back in 3 years. Because the usual Backblaze plan that everyone pays for, I think is only 1 month version history. So delete something today and realize it's gone in 2 months, well, you're not getting it back. Whereas a Time Machine backup, you could. So I think it's well worth paying for at least 1 year version history, and if you can put up with it, unlimited.
And what is the cost for something like that? Unlimited retention.
You can get the 1 year retention for an extra $2 Aussie per month, so not a lot.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then after that, how it works is you start paying cents per gig per month for files that you no longer have the original of. So I delete something today, and then 12 months from today, I will start paying, I think just from memory, 0.002 cents per gig per month for that file I deleted today in a year from now.
Interesting.
So I'm a fairly recent adopter of Backblaze for myself. I've used it on and off and definitely recommend it to people for, I think, since it launched almost, but I haven't hit 12 months yet to actually see how expensive that's going to work out to be. But maybe in 12 months, I'll be able to just migrate to Apple Time Drive instead.
Do you, I assume you use Backblaze just for all data, like all of your work, like photography work stuff.
Yeah, everything.
So do you delete gigabytes worth of photos? I don't know how much goes unused that you would potentially have to pay for.
Yeah. No, actually for client work, I do not delete a single photo ever, even rejected photos. I just keep everything.
Oh, okay. Like even the oops, I set off the shutter as I was pulling it out of the camera bag.
That's it. It gets flagged as rejected, but it gets kept forever.
All right.
Actually, I bought a new camera last night, and I don't have it yet, but it's going to be generating around 150 megabytes per photo. So I think I'm going to start regretting or changing my ways as soon as I start using that camera.
What camera is that?
I bought a Fuji GFX 50S. So it's a couple of years old now, but I got a pretty good deal on it. It's a 50 megapixel digital medium format camera. So it'll go alongside my other Fuji crop sensor camera, which I typically use. Be my wedding combo.
You
Are you looking it up?
had...
Mm?
I mean, I looked it up. I'm like, oh, yep, that's a camera. There's not a lot more I can get out of it, unfortunately. I'm trying to look up your YouTube channel now because I just watched a video of yours that was... Well, I don't think this exactly explains it. The Kodak Tri-X pulled to 200.
Oh, that was a recent.
Posted most recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you were using a lot of technical terms in there that I also didn't understand. But I very much enjoy your it almost feels like a mini vlog format that you do your videos in. It's just like a day out and about, and here's some photos of it, sprinkled in with live video of me and my family, and they're very I don't know, aesthetic, I guess. They're good videos. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. I really struggled to settle on a format for more YouTube videos because I don't want to, like, as I'm out and about with the family specifically, if I'm like being a talking head at the same time, that's all I'm thinking about. Whereas if I'm just like shooting video of my kids or the landscape, it's, I'm more there, I'm more present in the event. So that's why, and then, when I come back, I can like do a voiceover or a talking head, but I've tried a variety of formats. I think that's possibly my favorite. Although,
well, as a person who doesn't understand the technical details, it's also like I enjoy this for other reasons more than just whatever you're saying.
All right, noted. The other part to this tweet was the return of the airport routers. Gosh, Apple got rid of their displays and then started doing displays again, but there are plenty of other people doing wireless routers. Do we really need Apple to make them? I'm pretty skeptical about that part of the tweet.
So first of all, there were some rumors about a new airport coming out like a month ago.
Oh, were there? I missed those.
Based on some patents, I believe. But I believe the consensus ended up being shortly after that they were kind of like an internal use product for some specific applications, either in warehouses or Apple stores or something, and it wasn't a consumer product. And so I wonder if this is the same thing. But at the same time, if there's any indicator that Apple's about to release a wireless router, it's that I just spent $500 on wireless routers. And so, of course, Apple's going to release something now.
I mean, the writing's on the wall. You've spent $500, yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, it basically already happened because I no sooner got my Linksys routers that you love so much set up in my house that Linksys released new versions of them. They're like half the price.
Well. You're already out of the return window?
Oh, yeah. I believe so. I actually don't know how it works to buy third-party products through the Apple app specifically, but I'm definitely outside that 14-day return period that you usually get from Apple.
Okay, right.
But yeah, just for the reason of like something that syncs really good with their Apple HomeKit router. I forget what they call that specifically, but having a HomeKit router
Home Hub
that encrypts all of my video. Home Hub.
Oh no, sorry. I think you had it. I was thinking of something else, like the thing built into the HomePods.
Right. Yeah. This is some specific aspect of the routers that like isolates your smart devices on the network for security stuff and lets you do a little bit of management of the routers from the home app as well. So having something that integrates really well with that would be cool. But I'm out of the router market for a while now, unless Linksys really fails me, which I guess is possible according to you.
My experience with Linksys was a long time ago, so
yeah,
it could be anything. I mean, it could be a rock solid company now. Is it even still part of Cisco? Is it like Cisco's consumer stuff, or is that also information from a decade ago? It doesn't really matter.
I mean, that's news to me.
Okay.
My very first router. Oh, yeah. Linksys will be operated as an autonomous division of Cisco.
Okay, there you go.
Whatever that means. The very first wireless router that I convinced my parents to buy in 2007 was a Linksys router. So, and that it came out of the box melted, which was weird.
Amazing.
But it worked. We used it for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't think of a good pun to put in.
I don't know.
Wi-Fried.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one.
I stole that from McDonald's because at least here in Oz they call their Wi-Fi Wi-Fi.
I've never seen that here in the States. It must be an Australian thing.
It must be. On my side of things, the modem router I get from my ISP is like built-in 4G failover, so I don't really see myself replacing that. And in fact, I don't really see Apple even introducing airports again, just because Apple is not interested in a multi-million-dollar market segment, are they? They're going more for the billion-dollar markets, and I don't think modem routers are really that big a market. Everyone just takes the thing that they get from their ISP, plugs it in, and if it fails, they probably call up their ISP and say, can you send another?
Right, yeah. I think you're right. Routers to me fall in that same market of like tech accessory, I don't even know, like an enthusiast thing they've gotten out of. You know, they don't sell time machines, which are basically, we're just airports anyway with hard drives in them. They don't have X serves. They don't have, well, I can't think of anything else. But like enterprise stuff. Airports weren't exactly enterprise, but I consider that type of hardware to fall in that category. Mm-hmm. And they're very much too consumer oriented to even get into something that technical anymore.
Yep, exactly. I think the last thing I just chucked in there, I don't know if I haven't really given this much thought.
I like this.
But WWDC 2022 predictions, because we're not going to have another show before Dub, are we?
We are not.
No, this is it.
And this looks like a great way to have like a little bit of a prediction game without us having to come up with anything. We'll just go through these slides and answer them, and that'll be our predictions.
Wait, what? Slides? Where are the slides?
Well, the way I'm viewing it on the Reddit website, it's like a click-through slideshow. It like asks a question, and I can vote on what I think my answer would be to that question.
Oh my goodness.
Is that not what you're seeing?
I just thought that this link was a comments thread. I didn't even see that it was an actual predictions game or something. Is it because I'm on the old Reddit and not the new Reddit? Because I click on it now.
Yeah, it looks like a new Reddit.
It takes me to the new Reddit, which I'm not a user of. Okay. Cool. All right. This is the first time I've seen it then, so you can take everything as an immature thought.
Yeah, I didn't want to read through it either because I wanted to kind of go into it blind with you.
All right, cool. And how many do we have?
So, 16.
Okay, cool. Won't take too long then.
Yeah. So, question 1, will iPadOS 16 bring multitasking mode that would allow you to freely resize windows? I think that is actually very much on the table this year.
There have been so many rumors that where are the rumors coming from if this isn't true? There have even been little hints about it in betas of other operating systems and yeah, all sorts.
Yeah, I think that it's coming. I think the only question is whether or not it'll be this year. But I think that it's time. It's overdue. We have iPads with M1s in them. They need better multitasking with external monitor support and all of that.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice? So I've clicked yes, and now Reddit has said you have 1,000 tournament tokens. You're going to need a bigger boat. Let's do this as the action. I failed to understand. It's
kind of like gambling.
Okay, so am I betting unicorn tokens on?
Right.
Is 10 an appropriate amount? Well, we've got 16 questions.
That's what I did.
So,
that was the default amount, so that's what I did.
Yeah, but I could actually spend 62.5 per question if I wanted to.
All right, yeah, put 62.5 in then.
Actually, the only options are 10, 30, or 100, so I guess I'll go with... I'm going to spend big on this one, 100.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very likely thing we'll see this year.
All right. Which iOS version will be released first? 16.0 Dev Beta 1 or 15.6 public release?
I'm going to say Dev Beta 1, just because that's going to be like the day of the keynote that'll be available for download. So
yeah.
I see that
and
happening.
15.6 betas have only just started, so I'm with you there.
Right, yeah. That seems inevitable.
Okay.
If it was a question of the public beta versus 15.6, I maybe would go the other way.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
All right. Will AudioOS 16 drop support for the original HomePod? I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. I don't think, unless they do something amazing with it this year, there's no indication that like the hardware for the original HomePod is not capable of running another version of AudioOS. I think it'll handle it just fine. So I really hope they don't drop the HomePods, unless they have a new HomePod or something ready to go.
The question is that, the problem is that the HomePod is running the A8 and the iPhones that run the A8 are being dropped from iOS 14, which I don't know how diverged that is from Home OS 16, Audio OS 16.
Audio OS. It's so many layers, right? Because Audio OS is based on tvOS, is based on iOS, which is based on Mac OS. So,
which is based on
Next Step,
which is based on BOS. No, what was it called?
Darwin.
No.
BOS was a competitor. BOS was a competitor to that was what Apple almost bought as their operating system instead of Next Step.
I meant to say BSD.
Ah, okay.
Sorry. Yep.
But I guess you're right. Through that lens, man, that would be really crummy. But I might change my answer on that. The HomePod's been discontinued for long enough now. Apple could get away with just like not mentioning it and it silently not getting any more updates. And it gets like a couple more stability, 15.6, 15.6.2 or whatever, and then they left it alone.
Yeah, all right. I'm going yes. Just as a brief aside,
right.
one of the main reasons I was restarting my HomePod on the weekly at least was actually fixed in the last Audio OS update, which was the problem where it would stop playing audio after like 20 seconds. That was specifically the thing that they fixed in the last update. So happy days for the original HomePod, or both HomePods actually.
If they just spend some time on stability, these last couple versions of 15, the HomePod doesn't need to be anything but stable. Like, I guess I'd be disappointed if like the intercom feature had been HomePod Mini exclusive, but at this point, I don't want my HomePod to do anything more other than just play music reliably.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too put out if it doesn't get any more updates.
Will tvOS 16 drop support for the Apple TV 4 HD? There's no way, because they're still selling it brand new in the Apple Store.
Is this for the same reason, though? Does the Apple TV 4 have an A8 in it?
Oh man, it's as slow as a wet week, so I would hazard a guess it does run the A8. I don't know.
I'm pulling up the tech specs page now.
All right, you do that. But I know.
Oh, it does. It has the A8 in it.
And this might even affect my reply to the previous question then, because they're still selling it. They can't drop support for it. So I'm going to say no, and I'm also going to go back and say no to the original HomePod being dropped.
Well, what if it goes hand in hand with this rumor of a new cheap Apple TV that's coming out? And
doesn't change the fact that they're still selling the Apple TV HD today. And just by the way, it costs literal money to change your prediction, so I'm not going to be changing it.
Oh man, I hate Reddit. Okay, well then I'm gonna just to be the opposite of you. I'm gonna say yes to both of those.
Okay. Will iOS 16 introduce new Fitness Plus workout types?
Yeah, I think that's... Oh, it's Fitness Plus specifically, so like trainer-led sessions. I don't see why that has to be a version thing. That seems like something they could add content whenever they want. But maybe it takes them a year to build up a back catalog of, a dozen of these workouts. Mm-hmm. So I see this going two ways. Either it's something that they add to every year and it gets better, or we never hear about Fitness Plus again.
Yeah. I would just have to go on a hunch on this and say no, because Fitness Plus it's just a service. It doesn't have to align with anything release-wise. So I'll go no. Mm-hmm. Ooh, heavily outnumbered there. 76% are going with yes on new workout types.
Yeah, maybe it's just another tentpole thing for them to talk about, but I don't know. I definitely agree with the concept that they don't need to tie it to a version number. Will we see expanded FIDO or passwordless sign-in standard support? This was something that they announced last year as a new sign-in without a password option, and they explicitly said that the it was like beta frameworks or APIs that they were unveiling was like step one of a multi-step process. Yeah,
they've literally said this is coming, so how could we not say yes?
I think that's definitely something we're going to see more about. That's it seems inevitable.
Due to increased pressure, will iOS 16 open up the NFC chip to third parties?
Man, I don't get the pressure on this. It's like your phone has this hardware in it and you're not letting everyone use it. The way the EU is regulating that is very odd to me. It reminds me a lot of the modem chips Apple was buying years ago. Technically had like FM radio tuners built into them, but iPhones never had radios. And there was a movement to force Apple, like some kind of legislative action that didn't really take it off the ground at all, but to force Apple to let people use those FM tuners on these chips. Like, even though they hadn't built the antenna into it or anything. It's kind of feels the same to me here, where it's like, you've got this hardware, you need to let us use it. But they kind of are doing this, aren't they? Like, with the iPhone to iPhone payment that they're like letting other companies utilize. Like I know Square is already working on an implementation of that as well. So I'm not sure what else they would do outside of that.
I think the opening up is a thing that's happening. I don't think it's in any way tied to WWDC. Maybe it's tied to pressure, sure, but...
So yes, but only because it's kind of already happening.
Yeah, but this is WWDC predictions, so I have to go with no then.
Maybe we won't hear anything. Well, my only thought is maybe we'll hear about, like, because this iPhone to iPhone payment was like a press release a couple months ago, so maybe we'll hear like see an official demo on stage or just a mention of it. I don't know.
Could be a grey area.
Yeah.
Due to increased pressure, will iOS 16 ease up on side loading?
No, definitely not. I like the answer. That's a funny one. No.
Yeah.
There's no way. I'm giving that one 30 unicorn tokens.
A hard no.
There's no way. Like I could see that. I could see iOS 16 having like, okay, we've added the ability to have like outside payment processing for in-app purchases long before they'd ever allow side loading.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Will tvOS 16 get at least a 6-minute time slot in the presentation? Very specific prediction.
Not even TV hardware, but specifically tvOS 16. Seems like a long shot. I mean, not much gets 6 minutes besides iPhone hardware and Mac hardware.
Especially if they're going to be spending time talking about AR, VR stuff. There's no way they're going to spend any time on tvOS.
Apple doesn't even like
this year.
tvOS.
Yeah, I think I definitely saying no on that. I don't think there's any rumors about any big tvOS advancements coming.
Will WatchOS 9 finally drop support for the Apple Watch Series 3? My beloved Series 3 that won't die. Still runs WatchOS 8 perfectly. Barely any slowdown in the last, since any. I don't think any WatchOSs have slowed down the Series 3, and possibly faster even than the original OS it ran. I
mean, if we're using your tvOS logic, you said there's no way because they're still selling it new.
The Series 3?
Yeah, you can still buy a Series 3 from Apple.
Wow, there you go.
Because everyone thought they were going to drop it and just have the SE last year, but they didn't.
It's got to be a no then.
Man, you sure think so. But I'm just voting for things I want now. No, the answer has to be no. Because I don't imagine they drop the Series 3 until September at least. So, yeah, I'm saying no.
Will
macOS 13 be named macOS Mammoth?
Is Mammoth
That's very random. I haven't heard.
A landmark in California?
I'm sure it's Mammoth, California. Looks like it.
Oh, Mammoth Lakes. Okay.
That could be a good one. I don't see what makes it more likely than any other landmark in California, though. Maybe there's been rumors to that effect, but I haven't heard.
macOS Mammoth Lakes. macOS Mammoth. I like it. I think I might go for just a random yes on that.
Okay.
Oop, hold on. My kids are home and they are locked out, so I'm just going to open the front door for them.
All right.
Let's hope this dynamic mic now cancels out all the background noise.
Will Apple finally show off its AR VR headset? I mean, if it's literally like, here is the headset, I don't know. I feel like they could definitely show a lot of AR VR stuff, but I bet not. If anything, if we see any kind of headset, it would be like a dev kit kind of thing and not the official product yet. So I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no. I think there will be a lot of smoke, but no fire just yet.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Will iOS 16 include a major redesign? This is one of those grey area things. What is a major redesign? There have been no rumors to this effect. I mean, there are certainly some mock-ups of what it might look like, and some areas have been redesigned. I think notification is built for a redesign, but a major redesign means like the entire color scheme, or
I mean, yeah, for context, I would say iOS has had one major redesign with iOS 7, and other than that, it's never had a major redesign.
Exactly.
And I don't think we're getting that. So if I'm answering it with that criteria, I'm saying no.
I think the iOS 7 look has evolved and is continuing to evolve, so there's no need for a major redesign because it's still quite fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a classic one. Will
the crack marketing team get a mention or any high/weed joke?
We've actually had that in one of our own little prediction tournaments before, and I said yes, and they didn't. So I'm going for a no.
I'm saying yes because I think our last prediction was not for Dub Dub. And Dub, Craig Federici, always gets stage time, and he always has some kind of joke. So I'm going to say yes for that one.
Oh, I think it's just they've done it too many times now. They've got to come up with something
Played
new.
out.
Will Apple reveal the
Maybe.
Apple Silicon Mac Pro? Almost undoubtedly, yes.
Yeah, I really want them to. I feel like they kind of have to. So I'm saying yes to that as well. But it could be like a last minute end of the year, like October, November keynote. Here's the Mac Pro. Like if supply chains or something is really hurting them,
Mac Pro is the dub computer, though, time and time again.
It sure is. I'm ready to see it. I hope so. But there's been very little rumors to that effect in the last month or so.
True. And finally, will iOS 16 drop support for the iPhone 6s? Wait a minute. Do we not already know this?
I think it's pretty confirmed. I think that's an obvious yes. I'm going to give that 100 unicorn tokens. That's definitely happening.
Yep, that's it. Let's see. Did I spend my tokens wisely? Can I tell how many I've got left? I don't know. Where are my unicorn tokens?
I have like 700 some.
Oh, that's right. We started off with... No, we could have spent them all, though, if we wanted to. Where are my tokens?
I did. I don't know how you view them. I just saw how many tokens I had every time I was voting. I don't know how this works. Okay, so how it works. Mods create questions. Users make predictions. Oh man. I don't know. I tried to click onto the description. It brought me to this turn on predictions. Wants me to enable features. This Reddit has become too convoluted.
It's starting to feel like when I go into the Twitch app. Have you ever used the Twitch app? It's just full of all this stuff that is so utterly foreign to me. I feel lost. I feel like I'm an old man in a I don't know, I was going to say a playroom or something. I don't know. But that's kind of maybe a little bit demeaning to people who use Twitch.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a big Twitch user, so I'm very lost by their features. This is probably a very, I don't know. I don't want to say you're too old for this because my dad uses it all the time. Do you have TikTok?
No, I do not. TikTok.
Okay. That is an app that really confuses me when I'm in it. Because as a premise, the core functionality of the app, it makes sense. It's okay, I'm looking at short videos and I can scroll through them quickly. It's very Vine-y, which I was, very into Vine when it was a thing. You can comment, reply, that all makes sense. But there's so many random little things that don't make sense. If you go to your profile tab in TikTok, there's a menu bar across the top, and one of the icons in the menu bar is just a carrot.
Of course.
And you tap on the carrot, and it takes you to a little farming game, like Farmville.
Amazing. Inside TikTok. Wow, there you go.
Yeah. So I do not understand the nuance or what all you can do in this app. It's very funny to me.
Yep. It sounds a bit like Snapchat, where you have to know every obscure gesture to get your way around, but eventually it all makes sense.
Right.
All right.
Well, this was
best of luck.
This is easier than us having to come up with something.
True, and it will score us for us.
There we go. Yeah, we'll have an answer. Whoever got the most unicorn tokens at the end.
I am James VDM on Reddit and Twitter.
And I'm Jellywoot on Reddit and Twitter.
And the show notes will be at reddit.com/r/bluebubblepod.
And almost as if he has some kind of sixth sense, I just got a text from Christian Seelig saying he is in for our show the next episode.
Nice. Well, out of the blue, or had you already messaged him?
I reached out earlier today asking, but he literally just got back to me this moment. So
nice. Good to hear.
Yeah.
But do tell me about your iPhone troubles.
Yeah, it's unusable, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Because what has it been? I got it in September, so I'm 9 months into owning it, and it's gotten its first deep scratch on the screen. My phone has actually taken more of a beating in the last month or so than any phone I've ever owned. Because its flashlight has become in very heavy use, working under sinks or painting corners, and I've dropped it, and I have chips in all the corners of it, and my screen's got a gash right in the middle of it that annoys me. It annoys me trying to use it because my fingernail gets caught in the scratch, and it's deep enough that you get this little that little rainbow effect on your screen at all times using it.
So you're slightly every time I look at it when you said unusable. Okay, gotcha.
By my standards, it's torture. Yeah, and I added that to the show notes, and you texted me, and you asked if it was something that Apple Care could resolve, and that made me think like maybe I should just like smash this and take it into Apple and like make them give me a new phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would that set you back?
Is
it the 99 or?
I don't actually know what it costs to have a whole phone replacement. I've gotten a screen replaced through Apple Care, which I think was the 99 or something. It's been a couple years at least since I've done that. But that might be the route to go if it really is like $100, because that gets me a nicer phone for the last few months and a nicer phone to then sell or whatever else I do.
I guess
when I get the new stuff this fall.
Are you going to trade it in or are you going to try and sell it? Because if you're just trading it in, then maybe don't bother. But if you're going to sell it, maybe do.
I got burned so bad with my last trade-in.
Yeah.
They said it was worth $0 that it's not even something that's on my radar as an option. But yeah, maybe I try to get... Although... This phone is more damaged than the iPhone 10 or 10s that I sent in. They said was worthless. So
that was a mistake.
I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what it takes to actually make Apple give you a new phone. I guess I even have like loss and theft protection through my Apple Care Plus. So I could just say I lost it and they'd give me a new phone. I don't know what that costs though.
Lose it and add to your shrine. Add to your wall of iPhones.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of
Except I kind of like my wall of iPhones to work, and I feel like they're going to remotely disable it if I say it's lost.
Ooh, yeah. Yep. Definitely a possibility.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Well, you've got some
if
soul
nothing
searching.
else, I'll power through it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'll do some research into how much it costs if you walk into an Apple store and say, like, my iPhone was stolen.
Yep.
But if not too much, I might go that route.